So Gandhi kind of helps us understand what exactly is civilization. So the first thing that he does is he tells us, of course, through this conversation that's happening between the reader and the editor, he tells us that civilization is something that is not what we understand it to be in the modern age. So what goes by the name of civilization is not actually civilization. And then he points out, and this is where I think the crux of Inswaraj is, he essentially has issue with modern civilization. A lot of people point out, and I think they are horrendously mistaken on this. A lot of people think that Gandhi is against Western civilization, but they kind of miss out on something quite fundamental, that Western civilization is not modern civilization. Modern civilization is more of an epistemic, a much broader landscape within which Western civilization could be understood as a subset. So Gandhi was fundamentally in opposition to, or he was fundamentally against modern civilization. And he points out that civilization here, as the modern civilization, is a matter of bodily welfare, right? So he points out it's a matter of bodily welfare, and civilization in that sense is understood in terms of more and more comfort. So what are the signs of civilization according to Gandhi? So signs of civilization for Gandhi have to do with a certain scale. So for instance, earlier we used to write less or far fewer books, and now we write many more books. But of course, there are not that many people to read. Earlier, plowing was done differently, but now we have machines through which we can, farm large tracts of land. Traveling, for instance, earlier we would walk, and we were quite limited in terms of, mobility. But with new or modern modes of transport, we actually travel really fast from one place to another. And then Gandhi, almost as a prophet, speaks about what we today consider the platform economy. So he talks about press button culture. So he talks about the fact that I won't be surprised if there comes a time when people simply press buttons and things will be done. So they will press a button and there'll be car, they will press a button and there'll be food, and so on. So this is 1909. And think of it in 2022 and Swiggy and Zomato and whatnot. And you realize that Gandhi was markedly prophetic, and he was, he was extremely perceptive in terms of such extraordinary farsightedness with which he was looking at where the civilization was going. Now, so this is something that he points out, that what civilization is doing is basically, it is about possession, it's about things. And in the middle of all this, what happens is that the man, the person, the human being is missing. So civilization is about bodily comfort. Civilization is about a certain peculiar conception of success and prosperity. And he points out that this is devoid of morality and religion. Right now, and this is where I think the question of religion also becomes very important, because he, in the same chapter, if memory serves me right, he does talk about the fact that modern civilization is essentially a satanic civilization. It's a civilization of irreligion. It's a civilization that gods have abandoned. Right, so it is devoid of morality and religion. And then because then he is asked this question, of course, this question is formulated by none other than Gandhi. He points this out, that a civilization is that mode of conduct which points out to man the path of duty, right? And this is where, of course, he is going back to a very important text in Hinduism, which is the Bhagavad Gita. And Gandhi, of course, later in his political career would go back to the Bhagavad Gita, particularly in the context of the theory of action and whatnot. But anyways, that's a separate matter. So civilization is that mode of conduct which points out to man the path of duty. And performance of duty and observance of morality are convertible terms for Gandhi. So this is also something so to observe morality is to attain mastery over our mind and our passions. Now, this is where Gandhi is kind of pitching a very important antithesis to the modern civilization.